Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to everyone who has joined us from the Middle East region, and a good day to our guests from other parts of the world. Thank you for joining us. This is our 10th session. We are almost there. 12, so 10 done, 2 to go. I am Coach Anjana Lumba, Education and Programming Chair of ICF Oman. Please note that this session is being recorded for participants who have not been able to attend. A quick note on housekeeping. Please keep your mics muted during the session, post your questions in the chat, and Coach Nima would be happy to answer them at the end. We will have CCE certificates sent across to you within 2 weeks if you attend the session full incomplete. And at the end of the session, we'll definitely request you for a short feedback form. It is now my privilege to introduce the speaker for today's session. So leading this session today is Coach Nima Khalili, a PCC coach, a systematic leadership coach with over 20 years of experience in training, development, and executive leadership. Having led a mid-sized education organization with 150 plus staff, Nima brings real-world boardroom experience and a deep understanding of how leadership behaviors ripple through teams and systems. Today, he partners with executives and founders across the Middle East to build leadership that transforms organizations and lives. Welcome, Coach Nima.
Audience that can serve. For example, let's say that you offer executive.
Okay. Muted.
Thank you, Anjana. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good day, good morning, wherever you are. I'm so excited to be here. And as I was telling everybody, I've been privileged to join ICF Oman chapter, and just recently, and I didn't have the chance to meet you all when you gathered around in Muscat a few times. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing you, everybody, and I'm really excited about that. And congratulations again on the 10th anniversary of ICF Oman. Thank you, all of you who have been arranging ICW 2025. It's been a privilege to be here. And congratulations to everyone on ICW 25. So let me share my screen so we can start the session. Okay. All right. So. Anjana, is it on the presentation mode or you're muted?
It is not presentation mode.
Not yet.
Okay. It is now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, let's get to know each other a little bit. I got to know you a little bit. So, my name is Nima. My name is Khalili. I'm from Iran. I'm 45 years old. I'm married. I've been married for the last 12 years. I'm a loving husband and father. Of course, you should ask my wife about that, my 8-year-old son about that. But truly, I'm a loving husband. I love music. Truly, I believe that I can not live without music. And I like sports. I'm a sports enthusiast. I do skiing, and also I do lift trainings, especially for the last 3 or 4 years. As Anjana was telling everybody, I've my primary.
Keeping me, so I slept for a bit in the evening.
my primary education and also field of work was in ELT, English language teaching. And so I've been teacher almost all my life. I started teaching when I was 18. And coaching world is somehow quite familiar to me, not in terms of coaching, but in terms of how I can communicate with people. I've been an entrepreneur in the ELT field for the last 15 years. And that has led to now 5 language schools. Actually, they are franchises of a mother brand, if you will, in our country in Iran called Safir. And I am now privileged to be working with almost 160 5 beautiful souls. That's my team and everybody, which are serving somehow quite approximately 5,000 students each term. And in 2019, I got familiar with coaching quite accidentally, to be honest. I was looking for some kind of training in business consulting, and when you Google that, when you search for that, you know that coaching and mentoring and training are somehow overlapped the literature on the web. So I got familiar with the world of coaching, and then one thing led to another, and then I realized, wow, there's a federation for that. There's an international federation for that, and there are schools accredited to provide services for people who are interested. And wow, there's one which is actually providing coaching education in Farsi. That was amazing. So I started coaching education in 2019 with an academy called FCA, Farsi Coaching Academy, with Taimur Miri, MCC. And then I was privileged to be able to start a coaching package, if you will, for my own headquarters in that language school for a number of approximately 15 to 20 of the executives and managers in the headquarters. So over the course of my study, in almost a year, I could be able to log everything to almost 400, 500 hours of coaching experience. And after 18 months in 2020, I was able to get my credential PCC. I'm on the path to MCC. So over the course of the career, it's now something like more than 1,000 hours of coaching experience. And I've been in the corporate world for the whole career. So leadership and leadership team coaching is actually my field of likings and field of interest, also field of expertise. I'm trying to live the coaching mindset that the whole journey is a mutual learning path. So the learning is actually never stopping. And just recently, I set up my own company, my coaching company, which is called AHA Finder, and it's providing people with some leadership coaching, leadership team coaching, executive coaching, and individual coaching. So when I was thinking about how we're going to approach the topic of today, which is integrating individual coaching and team coaching for more holistic impact, to be honest, I thought of somehow a strange idea. It's not a crazy idea, it's just an idea. And I'm just going to share with you what realization happened to me because of that idea. And then I'm going to ask you what you think about it. All right. Actually, there was some kind of an analogy that came to my mind, and that led to this belief or this realization, or at least I'm just making a guess, that the way we breathe could actually reveal the way we lead. The way we breathe reveals the way we lead. What do you think of that? Just turn on your mic and tell me what you think. I told you it's just a strange idea. I didn't say it's a crazy idea, but you might say, oh, this is totally crazy. What do you mean by that? You can just write down in the chat or just turn on your mic and tell me what you think about this idea that the way we breathe reveals the way we lead. What do you think? Anybody?
Let me give it a shot, Nima.
Oh,
This is Anant here. I thought I might just use the vocal cords a little bit. It's a very, very interesting thought. As I was thinking through that, many a time, and I'm speaking for myself, not necessarily conscious of the idea of breathing. It's just at a subconscious level. And yet, of late, I have come to appreciate the power of conscious breathing. I mean, there are so many of the breathing techniques and what it provides to the body. And in some sense, for me, that is also the idea of leading, at least from what I'm picking up from here. When we are more conscious of the surroundings, the ecosystem, and how we lead, perhaps I think it just shows us as a better leader, as an authentic leader, and so on. So I'm starting to establish some sort of a connection to the statement that you've made there.
thank you, Anand. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Is it Anand?
Yes. You are absolutely pronouncing it correctly.
Thank you so much. So Anand is kind of referring to. I'm hearing two keywords here, like aware, conscious, right? Conscious breathing, which is actually giving Anand the ability to be aware of something that might have been ignored probably before. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Anand.
And the idea of presence, in some sense, could stem from that as well.
The idea of presence. Absolutely. Anybody else? Yes, Badria.
To be honest, it's the first time I've heard this question.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's very, yani, very, very new to me. But I think when we breathe, it comes all our thoughts, feelings. I think my feelings go with my breath if I am breathing well. So I am kind of relaxed if I am breathing. If not breathing, I am stuck or something. So the breathe is related to our thoughts, feelings. But to a lead or how to lead, maybe again it goes to our how I behave, maybe from the breathing, from thinking to feeling to breathing to how I behave at that moment.
Right.
I cannot think of more deeper than that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So basically, what Badria is telling me is about the physiological evidence that you might pick up from the sentence or from the idea. Am I right, Badria? That if the way we breathe, it might be a lot of tension, a lot of calm, a lot of whatever. So however you're breathing, that could actually impact your presence, as Anand was saying. Thank you so much, Badria. Farzeen, nice meeting you, Farzeen.
As we're talking more, I'm thinking when I'm breathing and just normal breathing, not paying attention, you kind of almost go with the flow of what's happening. So the energy around you can kind of infiltrate you. And so when you become more self-aware and you pay attention to your own breathing, then you're sort of more in control of how you do and say things versus just sort of allowing whatever energies around you to happen. You sort of are in more control. So you're consciously paying attention. And I've found for myself, I noticed there was a person who I was working with a while back, and they were very high energy. And I noticed myself almost mirroring their energy, not on purpose. And I didn't like it. I was not comfortable in that space. And so I really mentally had to take a step back, and I kind of took a deep breath, not so that anyone would notice it, but just sort of inwardly, and said, why am I mirroring this person's energy? Like, that's not what I'm feeling, but I'm kind of matching them. So I became very aware of my own breathing, my own presence in that moment, and I was able to adjust that. So I feel like it's maybe allowing you to be more consciously in control of what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Right. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. The keyword, which actually I heard probably 6 times, 7 times, was the word control. So let's hear from Farzin. Farzin, you turn on your mic, but we can't hear you. I can see you're talking, but
We cannot hear you.
yeah, we can't hear you. Okay. So you're probably back. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for all the insights. As was I telling Fatima, this is also my first time to be actually thinking about this. I was just thinking about an image or how this could be. How could this be like a picture in mind, so we can resonate with the whole 3 layers of me, we, and us. And suddenly this came to mind, and this will lead us to actually do an experiment, or a game, if you will, or an exercise, if you will. All right. So I know that you guys are from actually you are tuning in from different places, so you might be between the meetings or catching your breath in the middle of your day, but I'd like to invite you not to rush past this moment, since we're talking about breathing, and we're talking about being conscious, or we're talking about awareness, or we're talking about control. Whatever it is that is actually pictured in your mind, let's use it. Let's take advantage of that. So if it feels okay for you guys, go ahead and sit a little more upright, and if you can, let your feet rest gently on the floor, and maybe I would ask you to place one hand on your chest or on your belly, and wherever you can feel your breath most easily. And if you're more comfortable, you can just turn off your videos, or I would invite you to close your eyes for more focus and more energy. And now, let me also turn off my video so I would not distract you. So now, together, let's take a slow, deep breath in, nice and easy. Feel the breath just arrive in you and fill your body. And breathe out. Breathe out slowly and let the breath move outward. And just focus on the breathing, which is conscious and which is a nice and easy and slow and deep breathing. Let's focus on the breath. And while you're doing it, when you're inhaling and when you're breathing in, feel the breath arrive in you and filling all awareness. Focus on the breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep it going slowly and smoothly. And when you're exhaling, when you're breathing out, so you're letting the breath move outward into the space around you, wherever you are, even in this very unlined room, you are just moving your breath and your energy into the space around you. And you are shaping your presence, even at this very online webinar. This is the we part, I would imagine. This is how we shape our presence. This is how we shape our presence here, right now, our conversations. With our teams, with our culture, in the organization, in the community. And when I'm talking about you as a leader, or when I'm talking about your teams or your culture, I'm not necessarily
Nima, we cannot hear you.
I think he got disconnected. He'll probably join back soon.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. I'm not sure what happened. Sorry about that. I just got out of the room. Sorry. So let me share the screen. All right. Okay. Sorry about the deviation. So if you can, just let's get back to where we are. And so I was telling you about the we part. So again, back to the breathing states that you were, if you can. Now focus on the breathing. Now this time, when you're breathing in, so you're focusing on your inner world, and breathing out, and then you're noticing how your presence is actually shaping your surrounding and everything outward. This time, just pause after the exhale at the bottom of the breath. So like, and then pause for just a couple of seconds. Don't rush to the next inhale. Just feel the pause, feel the stillness. Just like what Anand was sharing with us. And this, I would imagine, would be the us part, which could be the shared space, the systems, the ecosystems, the communities we live in, we operate in, the larger field where change happens, not just through individuals or teams around us, but through collective patterns, collective relationships, and collective presence. Now, let's take one more full cycle together. So inhale the me part. Exhale the we. And just pause for a couple of seconds. The us. Focus on the breath. Let your body stay connected. And whenever you're ready, just open your eyes and come back here. Also, turn on your cameras whenever you're ready. Thank you. Thank you for coming along. Now, what I meant by this analogy and this little exercise that we practice together is that I think leadership isn't just what we do, it's how we be. And it works the same way. Like without the inhale, you burn out. And I think I'm having difficulty working with the slides. So they're not moving. Oh, okay. Okay. So I was telling you, without the inhale, it works the same way. Without the inhale, you probably burn out. You're all tense and you're just wandering around and running around. Without the exhale, moving your focus, your energy outward, nothing reaches others, or nothing would leave a legacy, if you will. And without the pause, you would lose the collective awareness and the collective connectedness that you would need to make the bigger impact and to make the broader impact. Now, I want one of you, before I go to my story, I just would like one of you to open the mic and let me know if you, what was your take on the exercise? What happened to you? And if you were thinking about the way you're influencing others around you, the way you're leading others around you, whether it's you're in coaching practice or in your own personal community, which part of the leadership breath do you think you would tend to skip? Is it the inhale part? Is it the exhale? Is it the pause? So I'm not talking about coaching practice necessarily. It could be anywhere where you're making an influence. Anybody would like to share?
I think for me, it would be the pause, Nima.
The pause. How come, Farzeen?
I think it's because I think I'm constantly in motion. So it makes me hard to pause. I mean, it doesn't come naturally to pause.
Right.
So I have to consciously think about pausing. That's where I struggle.
Okay. So when constantly in motion and you would feel that the pause section would need more attention and more awareness. What does that mean for Farzeen in the real world? What would that mean to you in terms of connecting with people or making influencing people, whether it's in your family, your career, your city, your neighborhood, wherever?
I think I like the idea of focusing a little bit more on the breathing, because I think when you focus on the breathing, it makes you be more present in the moment.
Right.
So what I find is that because I'm juggling many things, I tend to, I'm here, but I'm not here. Yeah. So I think when we focus on physically breathing, then we kind of center ourselves to actually be present exactly where we are. I think that makes you pause rather than jumping from one thing or trying to multitask, which I
Right.
think a lot of us do.
Right. The story of my life. That's quite resonating with me, specifically with me. All right. Yes, Dr. Muhiba.
Hello, and thank you for this breathing exercise. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
What I miss, I would say I have always enjoyed inhaling. I have always enjoyed exhaling. I come from academia. What I had in academia was also the pause, the connection, the collective. I love the word collective. I love the word connection. These resonate with me. What I miss in coaching since becoming a coach is the collective. It's not an easy concept in coaching. What we miss in coaching is that the collective drive, the collectiveness, the we you have been talking about, and I myself have been talking about lately when I spoke of the roundabout leadership. That is what we miss. The roundabout everything, the round table everything, because that's what what I miss is what is round, what is collective, the collective dancing. That is what is not very much developed, I feel, in coaching. So thank you for going to that space, which is so dear to me. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Muhiba. That's actually what I've missed, and that's why I am going to talk to you about how many times I failed coaching and coaching mindset and everything that I was actually learning from coaching. So it's been 6 years I'm in the coaching world, and quite honestly, Dr. Muhiba and others, up until 2 years ago, probably 3 years ago, I kept failing coaching, like I'm just disappointing coaching and coaching world when I would go to organizations and I would go to talk to businesses about the coaching and how I could make a difference. And still, I did not see them all as a collective entity, as a single entity. So I would go there, talk about coaching and all the things that we're proud of in the coaching world, as you know. And I kept coaching people individually within a company. And well, that part was quite successful, to be honest. I mean, the silos and the isolation coaching sessions with one-on-one coaching sessions. And then people come to me and give me feedback. Well, 80% of them was good, I'll be honest with you. But then there was this very important feedback from the CEO or from the person or from the sponsor, whoever he was or she was, a sort of confusion, to be polite, to be polite with me, some sort of confusion that, okay, my team is giving me all the good feedback about the sessions, about the conversations you've been having. But you know, Nima, I am not sure where we're going. I am not sure how this is working. I could clearly see that it's working for them individually, one by one, but quite honestly, I am having a difficult time figuring out how this is actually benefiting us. And that was quite a surprise because, you know, I was doing good. I was doing good in the sessions. So thank you, Dr. Muhiba. That's exactly what I've been missing as well. And I want you to think about, everybody, I want you to think about or recall a moment where your coaching practice impacted more than one person. And it could be in any realm or in any field of coaching expertise. I'm not necessarily talking about team coaching or leadership coaching in any sort. Just recall a moment where your coaching impacted more than one person. What was that? What was the real shift? In comparison with the coaching sessions that you had previously, before that, and you did not feel that. You did not feel that this is actually making an impact in more than one person. What do you think was the real shift? And that shift, where did it ripple to? Was it a greater we? Was it a greater us, as Dr. Muhiba was talking about? Was it a small community? Just tell me about it. Just share with everybody here. You can type in the chat or you can just turn on your mic. Or it might be the first time you're thinking about it. You think about that specific coaching session or coaching journey. But now that you think about it, you realize that, oh my goodness, I impacted the whole family. They were not my client. Yes, Candice?
So I had a situation where I focused on the individual and it was about assertiveness. And I took something personal to them and did push a bit of the boundaries, but did let them know that that was going to happen. And through that, I said, this is what I want for you to show me you're assertive. There are many ways to do it. Pick which one is beneficial to you. And as I was doing that, it was very personal. And I saw other observers, of course, watching this, but they would all have their turn. So some were cheering on the other individuals so that that feeling of, oh, we're all in this together. I have my own experience, but it seems like everyone was able to identify with something personal. There made a big impact. And I actually did not know that would happen. I thought the individual would get what they needed because of that experience, and then they would move on. I did not realize how much that would impact the group. But I think because we did activities as well together, we no longer were just strangers. And as a family member, you want to see a family member or friend be successful, and you're cheering them on. And I think that made the real difference.
Wow. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was an amazing experience. I mean, these are the things that you do not see them coming. I mean, even if you're doing individual coaching, and these are comes as a surprise. Badria, I'm all ears.
Yes, again, it's a good question from you to let us thought and think about our coaching practice. Yes, once I coached the person who cannot communicate. He's very brilliant, but he couldn't transform his ideas to the group. And he was asking why nobody's hearing me. So after maybe 3 to 5 sessions, he won a prize because he get that one brilliant idea, and everybody was excited to do it, to make it real. So I realized that, as you say now, coaching one person will affect a group and affect a whole organization to be succeed because their interaction with each other become better because of that one person.
Right.
So yes,
right.
as you said, it goes from one person to the other. It impacts the community as a whole.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So the ripple that you felt was actually the very next community around that client. Am I right?
Yes. When he can communicate it, because he's new in his position, so he would like to communicate that new ideas, and they know that he got an ideas, but he cannot communicate to them by his whole. So we end up that writing is the most important skill that he could learn to communicate with others. When he did that, he make that progress for the whole company, not only for him.
Right. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Badria. Now, why are we talking about this? I mean, what's the significance here? As we call the world of today, of the VUCA world, with so much of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, leadership in the general sense seem to be suffering from, mainly, there are lots of challenges in different cultures, different countries, and different settings. But I think largely, when you think about the larger scope of leadership all around the world, we are actually having challenges in terms of fragmented leadership development. I mean, some parts of the leadership teams are just trying to develop internally and externally, and some of the groups are not. Usually, at least in our culture, and I'm not sure if it's quite related to the culture. So you can share with me if this happens to you in your country, in your culture as well or not. But a lot of times coaching seems to be this luxurious, what do you call luxurious service, just specifically designed for my beloved leadership team and not anybody else. So just on the top, people are just exposed to coaching mindsets, practices, and mentality, and not anybody else. The other one is that, well, we have lots of team development modalities and training and different things in the organizations, but teams specifically seem to be stuck in in surface level change. So the main, or let's say the most common way of team development modality being done, mostly again, I'm just talking on behalf of my culture and my corporate world, is training. So organizations just hire people to train their teams and do some training, and they give each other good feedbacks, and they just enjoy being together, but nothing happens after that. So it's just surface level. And if there are individual growth on the side of anybody, whether it's the CEO or anybody in the organization, whether they have come to the conclusion that, all right, I would need some growth, I would need some, some sort of support, self-help support, they are usually not aligned with the system inertia, with the organization inertia. That means a layer of the organization or some individual people, they are just doing their best to grow and to develop mentally or in terms of their skills, but the whole system is just doing so much resistance that the whole thing would lead to disappointment and just letting go the whole growth processes. Now, you can think about the occasion, the situations that you have coached someone individually, only to realize that the real issue was the team dynamics. Anybody? Well, I could raise my hand. Anybody else has coached someone individually only to realize the real issue was team dynamics? Or anybody here who's worked with a team that was stuck because the leader hadn't done their inner work? Again, I could speak on behalf of the coach, and also on behalf of the leader. Like a couple of years ago, I was that leader that had not done my inner work. So what we're talking about today is something broader than that, is something in a larger scale, to be able to make a holistic impact. And that's how I made the analogy about the me layer, the we layer, and the us layer. Some of you talked about your experiences, which the whole impact starts from the inner leadership, inner world. So if any kind of coaching intervention is happening on the me layer, on the me level, it's more focused on awareness, clarity, and presence on the side of the coach, from the side of the coach. And then when we move on to how that energy is moving outward, how that individual growth is moving outward, then we're actually making trust. We're actually making collaborations happen. And we're actually making feedback like a culture, so that we can begin to see changes in the us layer, which is the systems within the systems within the systems. So it could be your coaching community, it could be your organization, it could be your neighborhood, it could be your country, it could be the whole world. As you are changing the culture, as you are changing the policy, as you are doing or making that ripple effect to change or to update or to upgrade organizational values. Now let's dive deeper in the 3 layers and see what happens in each one. So like in individual coaching, mostly presence, awareness, and we talk about values, we talk about different value mismatches or misalignments or clarification, and we try to make mindset shift happens. And we try to lead from the center, and we try to move away from the reactions and from the actions, preferably. So if I'm going to ask myself a question about this layer, I think it would be, what is one leadership quality I'm being called to embody more fully right now? And again, I would emphasize that when I focus on the leadership quality I'm being called, I'm talking about me as a coach and me as a leader, me as a coach, as a leader, me as a leader in my community. So it doesn't matter if you're thinking about your coaching practice or if you're just thinking about your neighborhood, or if you're building, or if you're thinking about your family. What is one leadership quality I'm being called to embody more fully right now? I want you to think about that. And then when we move to the we layer, the main things we're focusing on are basically psychological safety, how people are safe, or the extent to which people are safe to talk, to be in your coaching program, to collaborate in your coaching journey. Group dynamics, norms, and role clarity, and feedback loops in real conversation. Again, if I was going to ask a question in this layer, that would be probably, what's one way I've helped a team shift from individual perspective to shared ownership? And to do so, have I managed to create or to help them create psychological safety? Have I been aware of all the group dynamics? Have I helped them to clarify the roles and to be transparent about what is norm and what is not in that organization? And in the us layer, the whole thing is going to impacted by the ripple effect that you started from an individual perspective, from an individual layer. So organizational stories and assumptions are actually being affected by that ripple effect. Culture, I think the main thing, as something that all of us and everything as a living mechanism is actually living in it. So like the water we swim in, if you will. And invisible forces shaping team behavior, the unofficial relationships with people, the alignments or misalignments of values, of perspectives with people. These are all invisible forces. And if you think about your organization, or if you think about the team that you're coaching, you can think about the question, what's one invisible narrative or pattern in a system you've worked in that needed to be addressed? Have you ever seen these invisible forces? Are you being affected by these invisible forces in your culture, in your community, in your organization, at work? Now, it's your time. I'm trying to wrap up because I know we are actually having 1 hour time. So I would go to some of the suggestions that I would have to actually make that integration work, like steps of a roadmap. But before that, maybe just one of you or a couple of you, can you share with us, having said all of that and having thought about all of that, the 3 layers, where do you think your coaching practice is the strongest? Is it the me layer? Is it the we layer, or the us layer? I'm asking myself, what's one shift I'm being called to make in my work? And again, I'm asking myself, where am I over-investing? And what layer needs more attention? For me, to be honest, the us layer and a lot of times the we layer is actually the layers that needs more attention. And it's ironic. What's the irony? I'm in the organization. I have actually contracted with the organization, and somehow I'm lost in the middle of the journey, and somehow I find myself over investing in the individual coaching sessions. Probably, and maybe because that's my comfort zone, because probably I've been working at the individual level right from the scratch. Maybe that's my strength point. I'm not sure. But to be honest, for me, the shift that I'm being called to is to focus more on the team coaching competencies, and specifically the us layer. Candice?
Okay, so I wanted to speak about this. I'll do it very quickly, but I'm a teacher by trade as well. So in the classroom, for example, I price safety as the utmost, right? There's safety on learning. So we had a fire drill, and I make sure that my students know that if one thing happens to anyone, we are all invested. We are all making sure they're okay. So there is that community of, I bring that is the me. The we is the classroom community, but we had a fire drill, and I did let them know how important it was. So this can shift over into coaching. And they're just grade ones and grade twos, but I said, you're not too small to make a big impact. We're going to show everyone exactly how to do it. So we walked out there, we were silent. And then they sat down. I said, okay, I want you to look behind you. All of them are older than you. Do you notice that they're carrying on? So I'm not going to say what school, but carrying on in a way that is not beneficial. I said, who are the leaders right now? And then what I saw is another class decided to, like, they looked over, the other teacher said, oh my gosh, look at those ones and twos. Look how they're behaving. And they went and sat down quietly. And that is how we get to the us. So we said nothing to anyone else, but the kids were empowered. I was empowered. I was so motivated because of them. But the older kids and the teachers alike, even though I didn't say anything, started following suit. So when you say the water we swim in, we were just tampering with the water there. So I transferred that over into coaching.
That was an amazing one. Thank you so much. Wow. So it's just like a ripple effect. I mean, sometimes you're not actually doing anything. Sometimes you're just moving with the flow, and you're just aware of how you might impact in a more broader sense.
May I share?
Yes, Dr. Mohiba.
My experience, I've always gone for the collective. I come from academia, again, I repeat it, where the collective was the one thing.
Right.
I walked into class, whether we were 3 or 300s. The collective is that what brought us into that trance. I often said we are constantly dancing in the moment. So when I moved to coaching and the word dance in the moment came, I said, oh, that's the milieu I come from. And if I may share something very weird, I went swimming and I didn't realize the water was taking me too far away. I was enjoying it. I was with another swimmer, turned around, and the beach was miles away, miles away. I never said a word to my co-swimmer. He never said a word to me. We looked into each other's eyes and went back to the sea. I never went past him. He never went past me. I felt, and I still feel, the emotion in my skin. We never said a word. We swam collectively. None of us tried to swim past the other. And when we got to the beach, no one believed we could make it because the sea was taking us too far away and they could hardly see us. The collective was what saved us. And I use this metaphor throughout my life. And my members of the Oman chapter knows how often I speak of the collective and the togetherness, and how often I insist it's the force that takes me into the collective, not weakness. And I hope that would be my participation throughout my life, to insist on the collective, on the we, on the togetherness. That gives us that extra dimension no one can get from the solo whatever. That's what I want to say. Thank you so much, Nima, for bringing out all that from us, because this is where I believe we all need to go, the collective, the us, nothing less. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love the story. That was beautiful. I got the goosebump, Dr. Muhiba, as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, what I would like to share with you just very quickly, and Jana could actually let me know that if I may have some extra time, like a football game, just let me know. If not, I would just like to focus on the ICF team competency, coaching competency, and then I would love to have a little bit of time of Q&A if possible. So I just wanted to know that, well, you're all coaches, you're all powerful coaches, and you know that a couple of years ago, team coaching was actually found to be so significant in nature and in actually implementation that was actually the only coaching competencies that actually was created alongside the main core competencies. So no other coaching competencies actually exist in other field of expertise like leadership, executive, well-being, and things like that. Only team coaching competencies were actually found to be so significant that, okay, we need to have some specific new sub-competencies for the team coaching because it's so demanding nowadays. Now, I want to share with you two very interesting numbers that I found when I was being very deep on the competencies, team coaching competencies. Now, I just want you to guess, just make a wild guess and let me know what you think about 29 and what you think about 25. What is 29 in the competencies? What is 25? I'm talking about team coaching competencies, ICF team coaching competencies. Just make a wild guess. Anybody? Yes, Badria? Badria?
You're on mute, Badria.
Unmute yourself, Badria.
Oh, sorry. What I am saying is, before I respond, I think I would like to thank all those attend for the session, because I think they are leaving because of the time. And just to say thank you all. If anybody wants to leave, it's okay. I don't know if you have any questions or anything. And just keep also, tomorrow, inshallah, we are having also another meetings. Just to say this for the others.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll try to be quick and wrap up this discussion in a couple of minutes. So let me tell you that I realized that there are 29 new team coaching sub-competencies in addition to the main core competencies in ICF team coaching competencies document, 20% of which belongs to only one core competency. And I was amazed by that. Now, just again, make a wild guess. We don't have time to go back and forth, as Badria said. But what do you think? What do you think the most important thing would be in a team environment, in a collective nature, as Dr. Muhiba said? That 1/4 of the team coaching sub-competencies are just, they do belong to that specific competency. Number 4, which is trust and safety. which is the DNA of that collective mind, the collective being that Dr. Muhiba was saying. And then let me zoom on those 7 sub-competencies, and you just pick your keyword. I mean, you see these are actually the living mechanisms of community, of the collective mindset, of the collective being, like communication. Just you pick your word. Conflict, resolving conflict. Wow. Concerns, beliefs, common identity, a safe space for open and honest interaction. Well, this is just human being. I mean, this is the collective DNA. This is what happens when we talk about collective. So I just wanted to share with you that even in ICF core competencies and team coaching competencies, just 25% of that is talking about how we can build that foundation first and foremost to be able to connect together, so we can be you and I, so then we can make an impact, a broader impact. Now, very quickly, I would like to share with you a sort of a roadmap, if you will. This is just something that I'm trying and I'm actually testing. So based on what we discussed, I would suggest these 5 steps when we are actually talking to organizations in our team coaching career. Now I'm talking about team coaching practice. I'm talking about group coaching, team coaching, organizational coaching, leadership team coaching. So when you talk to them, when you go to the organization, start with the system, not just with the individuals. Do not make the same mistake I did, which I failed coaching for a long time. Before designing any coaching interventions, just meet with them all. Meet with the most important ones, stakeholders like HR managers, executives, team leaders. Now talk about the strategic context that they're in. Talk about the pain points. Talk about their aspirations. Talk about, okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here exactly? Or what am I doing here exactly? Where is this organization trying to go? So again, you could see that the competencies are just, they're just bringing into light when I'm talking about this roadmap. Where is this organization trying to? What do you want? What cultural shifts or performance leaps are needed here? And which one of you guys are the most important ones? And I mean, am I talking to the right ones, or I need to see another person? Sometimes this happens. So identify which individuals and teams are most critical to this journey, to this change, evolution, whatever they're looking for. And then next step, now it's the time to design something, but do not design it yourself. We're not designing. We are not designing. We are going by the competencies. We are co-doing whatever we're doing. so it's designing together. Co-design now a layered coaching journey. Now that we talked about these 3 layers. So in the coaching journey for the organization, for the business, there might be individual coaching for leaders, team leaders, executives, to build inner capacity, to challenge their emotional intelligence, decision clarity, resilience, all the things that we do in individual coaching. And then we might have team coaching for them, so parallel sessions, or you might start with some training and then go to team coaching or go to individual coaching. So I'm just talking about layered. It's just up to you, and it's the layers that they want in terms of their perspectives and actually their journey that they're looking for. And then observe systemic touch points, and you have to design that, including in the coaching journey. So It might be joint sessions, it might be cross-functional or leadership teams, to align around organizational values, reflect on shared impact. And whatever that I'm getting from individual coaching and whatever I'm getting from the team coaching, these are the cross-functional touch points that might lead to joint sessions with the executives, with the ones that are actually taking the decisions. The third step, which is just doing the reflection between the levels. So encourage individuals to reflect on how their personal patterns affect their team. So talking about individuals on team and vice versa. And now help teams explore how their behavior impacts wider culture to the next layer, or customer experience, or any farther stakeholders. Badria, are we done with the time?
Losing audience,
so,
yes.
Coach me. Yeah, we are having also other sessions to attend, and you were
Sure.
very brilliant today. We would like to keep on going with you, but I think it's good to keep it for our next times, inshallah.
Absolutely, absolutely, inshallah. Thank you, everybody. I did not find any better final notes for the session besides the slogan or the sentence that you guys have. We have in ICF Oman, which is together we coach, together we thrive. Just with your permission, I added one more. Together we impact. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your collaboration. It was an honor to be with you and to meet you guys and to meet all of you. And once again, hope
Before
to see
we
you.
finish, I just have one comment here in the chat. Would it be possible for you to share the roadmap that you were talking about? Because some of them would want to know step 4, step 5, etc. So
Absolutely.
I would share them when I'm sending the CCE certificate to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. Coach Badria, please, if you can just give us the vote of thanks. And Miss Fatima will take a group picture. We've lost many of them. They've already left, but still it will be nice to have a group picture, please. If you can turn the cameras on. Fatima, please tell us when to smile.
Yeah, sure. So I will do it into, okay, now, 1, 2, 3, smile. I need one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Angela, you want to say something else?
No, I just say over to you.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here in ICF Oman, and happy ICF week. Hope you enjoyed us in our session today. Coach Nima, it was really amazing. That's why we stand with you until now. We hope we can enjoy you in other sessions, inshallah. Thank you. Happy night, happy day. Thank you all from all around the world.
Thank you. It was an honor. Have a good day, night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.